Coming up on Mountain News this morning, an NFL rookie was pulled over after he was sighted going more than 100 miles per hour. And Hurricane Eric brought winds of 125 miles per hour once it made landfall yesterday morning in Mexico as a Category 3 storm.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning and a happy Friday to you, Mountain family. I'm Amelia Lee here with you on this June 20th. We are just about at 5 o'clock this morning, which means it's time to check on in with meteorologist Megan Dusmaw today. Megan, you were right. You said with those warmer temperatures comes the fog in the morning.
Yeah, and we have a very foggy day.
We got to test that today, and I said, wow. I really, honestly, on my drive in, I said, wow, Megan was right.
Yeah, I was right. We have those clear skies, which leads to the warming of the roads and the fog that's out there this morning. So here's a look at just how dense that fog is. We even have a dense fog advisory for most of our Kentucky counties, all of our Virginia counties, and our Tennessee counties. So please drive careful this morning. The fog is no joke as you're heading out the door. Temperatures, though, aren't terrible. We're sitting in the 60s, so a little bit cooler than yesterday. But those temperatures this afternoon will be much warmer than yesterday, mainly in the mid to upper 80s. And we're only going to see those temperatures warming up throughout the weekend. 90s are making a comeback tomorrow. But the great news of it all is that there is no rain. So here's a look right now on satellite and radar. Looking clear, not even a cloud in the sky this morning. And we'll just continue that way throughout the day, looking between mostly sunny to sunny skies. Here's a look at that breakdown of the forecast throughout the next couple hours. You got that fog that's going to last until about 10 o'clock this morning, and then mostly sunny skies throughout the day. Amelia.
NFL rookie Shadir Sanders was pulled over after he was sighted going more than 100 miles per hour. According to our sister station, he was stopped for driving 101 miles per hour in a 60-mile-per-hour zone in the Strongsville area Tuesday. Sanders, the son of NFL Hall of Famer and Colorado University head football coach Deion Sanders, must pay a $250,000 fine for the misdemeanor or fight the ticket in court on July 3rd. Yesterday, we learned Brooks Hawk, one of the men charged in connection with the disappearance of Crystal Rogers, was transferred to another jail ahead of next week's trial. One of the big questions going into this trial is, will Steve Lawson, who's already been convicted in the case, testify against his son Joseph Lawson and Houck? One legal analyst is leaning toward no, but he admits he also never thought Steve would testify in his own defense. From his perspective, putting Steve on the stand comes down to cost versus benefit.
I think it's intriguing to ask the question. I just think it's unlikely because he's given so many statements and some are inconsistent. I think the defense would tear him apart, and I'm not sure how much he would add, but if he was deeply involved in this, as the first jury thought, then presumably he may have more information.
Houck's trial in Bowling Green begins Tuesday. Well, Hurricane Eric hit Mexico yesterday morning as a Category 3 storm. Eric brought winds of 125 miles per hour once it made landfall, and it's actually expected to bring a major wind damage and life-threatening storm surge. Faith is moving through a youth group in Pike County. Students with the New Beginnings Fellowship Church in Pikeville are repairing a school softball field that was damaged by the February flood. WYMT's McKinley Calandrino has the story.
Mission Week is a time students look forward to all year, a time to unplug from their devices and serve the Lord through community work. This year, the Huddle Youth Group was scheduled to serve in North Carolina to assist with damage from Hurricane Helene until flood damage hit closer to home, leading them to Elkhorn City Elementary, where the flood devastated their softball field.
I've learned that sometimes you don't have to be far away to make a difference. Sometimes the place you see every day can be where the biggest differences make.
Getting their hands dirty, making repairs to the field and playground, but most importantly, rebuilding the community while restoring faith in broken hearts.
It's just a wonderful thing, because so many kids, just may look forward to this. We just didn't know if it was going to happen. So it means everything to us.
Patching up the community while learning mission work along the way. But the most rewarding part is the smiles brought from the hard work.
We had a little table that we refurbished for her and painted for her and wrote our names on it with our favorite Bible verses. And the look on her face was amazing. There's nothing better than seeing the gratitude on people's faces.
A picnic table they were able to salvage, now standing as a testimony.
And we talk about how in the Old Testament, whenever God would bring them through something, they would make this altar, and it would be called an Ebenezer. And every time they would go past it, they would remember that God has brought us through this, and we're better on the other side. And we give it to Miss Cantrell the other day, and we told her this could be an Ebenezer. And every time you see this picnic table, remember what happened here, not just a flood, but people and provision, and how things are better today because you went through this.
Hoping as they rebuild, the community is reminded the Lord's love can never wash away.
To show God's love in very simple acts of kindness and a lot of generosity, a lot of thought that they put into this project.
In Pike County. McKinley Calandrino, WYMT Mountain News.
The youth group invited staff and members of the community to join them for ribbon cutting for the field and the first softball game on that new field. Well, Corbin's 4th of July will have a few less fireworks this year. The West Knox Fire Department announced on social media that it's canceled its annual fireworks show. Firefighters say it's due to a lack of funds and a shortage of volunteers. Fire Chief Amos Moses says much of its funding went to purchasing new and necessary equipment, including a new fire engine.
We purchased a new fire engine last year with the help of Laurel County Physical Court. They donated $300,000 and we put over $150,000 of our own savings into the new engine that we desperately needed.
Try to get plenty of video. He says even though the fireworks show is canceled, Corbin Tourism and the Corbin Arena are still planning to have their Independence Day spectacular. Well, President Donald Trump nominated Chad Meredith to serve as federal judge for the U.S. District Court in the Eastern District of Kentucky. The president made this announcement on Truth Social Wednesday. In 2022, former President Joe Biden planned to nominate Meredith, but it was dropped due to opposition from Senator Rand Paul. Meredith is set to fill Judge Danny Rivas' seat. Meredith is a Grayson County native. Senate Republicans released their plan for a higher education overhaul they're hoping to pass as part of President Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill package. Senator Bill Cassidy, who leads the Senate's Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, released the legislation last week. Some highlights of the bill include setting new student loan limits and blocking loans for college programs where graduates are earning less income than those without a college degree.
We want to promote affordability, promote accountability, and promote access.
Some Democrats and education union leaders say the GOP plan decimates student loan programs, makes it harder for some students to get grants, and forces graduates to spend more of their income on loan repayments. A part of the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline dedicated to LGBTQ youth, known as 988 Option 3, is being terminated next month under the Trump administration. Officials with the Federal Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration said those who contact 988 will still receive help. The LGBTQ advocates called this move devastating and incomprehensible. The FDA has approved the world's only twice-a-year shot to prevent HIV, the virus that causes AIDS. This vaccine is marketed under the name Yes2Go and can be used by both men and women. 2 clinical trials show the injection is nearly 100% effective at stopping new HIV infections. The medical breakthrough comes as the Trump administration eyes deep cuts to HIV prevention funding. It's unclear how much insurance would cover for that shot. There are still more than 30,000 new infections of HIV in the U.S. each year. Well, it's now 5:08. Thank you for getting your day started with us on Mountain News this morning.